Hey everybody, this is Derek.
And I'm Lizzie.
And we're here with the Board Game Spotlight. And we thought it would be really fun to start a new series of videos titled Why We Love Feudum. So in this case, we're going to talk about Feudum from Oddbird Games and designed by Mark Swanson. Feudum is a game for 2 to 5 players, and the goal of the game is to be the most venerated. Now, Feudum is a game of extremely intricate systems, and one of the main selling points to the game is the circular economy that players are involved with. Now, each of the guilds has a particular role, and players are actually driving this entire economy. So players can go from being in a guild as the farmer, or the alchemist, or the merchant, or even the knight, and they have a role in the game, right? Like, in order to fulfill your role, that's how you score victory points.
Yeah, obviously.
So if players aren't doing their jobs, they're not going to score victory points. So you're incentivized to make sure that you're fulfilling your role in your guild, but also timing the way that you do your actions so that you can maximize the efficiency. Now, what I really love about Feudum, though, not to mention that it's a heavy game, right? And there's a lot going on, but the artwork.
I mean, it's incomparable. It's gorgeous. It's so different than a lot of games.
It's so unique.
It is. Even just like the color palette that they chose, it's kind of like muted colors, but then the pieces are still kind of bright. I mean, it's different, but in a really fantastic way.
So one of the things it reminds me of is the book Where the Wild Things Are. Yes. Like, that was the first thing I noticed when I first saw it on Kickstarter about a year or two ago. And it's got these little cute miniatures. Can you even call these miniatures? I mean, it's a you have a serpent.
It's like a medium mature.
medium
you can hold that guy. I'm gonna hold. Didn't we name him Steve?
Steve the serpent. Steve. Oh, like a long S, like Steve. I like it. I like it. I don't know if we ever gave him a name, but either way, Feudum is...
Ivan.
Ivan. I like it. Feudum is just an incredible experience. Feudum is in my top 10 of 2018 for good reason. Yeah. Every time I play this, I feel like I can explore the world that Mark has designed in a new and inventive way. So each epoch, you're going to choose 4 of your 11 action cards. And you're going to use these action cards to take a variety of different actions out on the board. So you might want to, let's say, for instance, they also have these really handy-dandy player guides. So you might want to take actions to migrate. Which is to place a pawn onto the board. Or you might want to move a pawn that you've placed onto the board. And these pawns are going to allow you to use the area on the board. And really, it's an area control game at its heart as well. So within this immersive economy that the players drive, they're also interacting with the board itself to control different parts of the board. So on the board, players are trying to rule lands, and you're trying to be the ruler. Some players may be serfs, and it has just an incredible balance, in my opinion, on the different actions that players can use. And so Feudum goes down as a game, if you have not played it, it's an incredible experience. Now, it's not going to be for everybody, but for me, the parts that make me love Feudum is that every time I get to play it, I find something new. Like, I get to explore the board, and I find this little cranny or nook or cranny of something I never saw. And even looking at the artwork, I'll find new things that I never saw before. And it really just wants to be discovered. So let's talk about why we're here. We're here to talk about why we love Feudum, but we're also here to tell you about a new expansion that is coming to Feudum called
Rudders and Ramparts.
So tell us, what is Rudders and Ramparts going to incorporate into the game?
So Rudders and Ramparts is going to incorporate these awesome 3D ships, which will hold your dice. Now, these will add +1 attack to all of them. You have to pay for them, so you can use them each round, but if you do not have the money, the shilling,
the shillings,
to pay for it, you will lose it. The same thing with these fortresses. These add +1 defense, and you can purchase them on your turn. And again, at the end of the epoch, you have to pay another shilling.
You have to maintain it.
Yes, to maintain it, to keep it from another player.
So Just like the vessels in the base game of Feudum, when you gain a vessel, you'll actually have the opportunity to take that vessel and upgrade it. So when you gain a vessel, you'll pay a shilling. And so going from this little piece of cardboard into this extremely beautiful and intricate,
gorgeous.
It's a miniature, but it's a piece of art.
It's so much more.
This is something that I would honestly want to sit out for people to see.
This is probably going to end up right there, so everyone can see it on our live streams. Look how cute that is.
I think Mark's going to love that you just called that cute.
It is though, look at it.
This expansion, which is live now on Kickstarter, adds a new way to incorporate what some people felt was a little lacking in the base game, which is attacking and defending inside of Feudum. And so if you're looking to expand Feudum, because everybody knows you only need one more expansion, there's only a couple of them, this is going to be a great way to extend the life of Feudum and to incorporate a little bit more player interaction as far as the attacking and defending go. If you are as excited about Feudum as I am, and if you love it as much as we do, we think that Rudders and Ramparts is going to be a Kickstarter that you're going to want to jump on.
Definitely. So in closing, a couple of reasons why we love Feudum is the incredibly immersive world that you can play with, that you have so much to discover and so many different options to make. Another thing is the incredible artwork that just elevates the experience, and the
component quality, right?
Well, I was just about to say that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The amazing wooden chunky dice and all the wooden tokens and pieces. The quality of the components is very evident in this game.
Feudum is certainly a labor of love, and you can see that throughout the entire process of the design and just in every little detail as you play the game. Some other reasons why we love Feudum is the multiple paths to victory. You're not locked into a specific path. You can really decide your own fate and how you're going to score victory points. And I think that allowing players that sandbox type feel is really rewarding because it allows players to explore.
And it gives players who have different motives in the game the ability to do just as well as another player, even if they're not going after the same objective.
Yeah, and in different playstyles too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because everybody knows
have very different playstyles.
Everybody knows because you win.
Well, because I pay attention to what I'm doing.
Another thing we really enjoy is the depth and replayability, especially as you start incorporating expansions. But even inside the base game, the depth and replayability is fantastic. The freedom of choice that players have, like we just talked about with the multiple paths of victory, is one thing that draws me into Feudum. Every time I play Feudum, I feel like I can try a different path. And I feel like the depth is there. Now, it is pretty grueling to learn, but there are great assets out there for new players to learn how to play the game. Great instructional videos that they put a lot of time and effort into making this an enjoyable experience and how to learn the game, because there are a lot of intricacies, there are a lot of edge case rulings, and even the cards themselves are going to have advanced actions that you can take on them. So you can choose to play a basic game, but as you get better at the game, you can choose to go into more experienced, advanced gameplay. And so those are some of the reasons why we love Feudum. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope that you've had a chance to play Feudum. If you have, drop us a comment and tell us why you love it. And if you had the chance to play it and you didn't like it, let us know what you didn't like about it, and we would love to chat about that. Rudders and Ramparts is live on Kickstarter, so if you're interested, take a look at the description below for a link to their Kickstarter page.
And if you figured out why we're putting a rosary bead on the chicken, leave that in the comments as well.
Long live the king!